Welcome back to our third and final video for notes number 15. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you about a shortcut that we had back in notes 14. In order to deal with our fractions, to simplify our life, we first undo the fraction by multiplying a common denominator. In our last lesson, we called this the blow up number. We blew up our fractions. So if I'm looking for a common denominator from between 6 and 9, 6, 12, 18, I'm looking for a least common multiple. 9, 18, notice that 18 shows up on both lists. What that means is 18 would be a good blow up number. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my entire equation and I'm going to multiply it times 18. Now, if you remember from our last lesson, we talked about, hey, this is 18 times 1. So when I multiply, it's only multiplying into the top because 1 times 6, 1 times 9 won't change. Well, 18 times 5, that is on your multiplication chart, gives me 90. Everything else is going to stay the same. I still have an over 6. I still have an x plus. Only the top's going to change. So the denominator is not equal sign, the sign. All of this is going to stay the same. The only thing that's going to change is when I distribute, when I multiply that 18 in, 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 1 is 18. 18 times 1 is 18. Only the tops of the fractions will change. And if we've done this correctly, we can come back and divide our fractions into nice, clean numbers. Well, 90 divided by 6 is 15. I still have an x. Plus 18 divided by 9 is 2. I still have a negative. 18 divided by 6 is 3. I still have an x. Still have a negative. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Now I can go into the solve process. That blow up number is just the ability to get rid of our fractions, blow them up, get them gone before we go through the process of solving. I've got x's on two sides, so I'm going to combine them by adding 3x. Adding 3x to both sides, leaving me 18x plus 2 equals negative 3. Now to get x alone, let's subtract 2 to the other side. 18x equals negative 2 plus, negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. And last but not least, break the 18 away using division. X equals negative 5 over 18, which will not reduce. Let's do one more of these together, and then I'm going to have you practice, and we'll be done with this video. I have 4 and 5 as my two denominators. So my blow-up number needs to be a multiple of both of them. If all else fails, you can always put them together. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 is the least common multiple of both of our denominators. That means I can blow up my fractions by taking the entire equation and multiplying it times 20. Now, keep in mind, all the denominators, all the signs, and actually, let me back up. Don't write that. I don't want to confuse you in that process, but I will say it. Remember that the denominators, the equal signs, the x's, those aren't changing. All I'm doing is multiplying into the top or into each term. Remember that terms are separated by pluses and minuses. So I have to do 20 times 3x is 60x. I also have to do 20 times negative 3 is negative 60. I have to distribute it into that top. But this whole thing still has a divide 4 that has not disappeared. Then I have a subtraction, bring it down. 20 times 1 is 20. Distribute to everybody. And 20 times 3 is 60. I still have a divide 5 and an x. Remember that it's the pluses or minuses, the equal signs that separate those terms. If I've done this correctly, I can now come back and reduce. Miss Brazel's heart can break up 60 divided by 4 is 15x. Negative 60 divided by 4 is negative 15. I still have a minus 20. And 60 divided by 5 is 12x. We have blown up our fractions. Combining my like terms, on the left, I have 15x, negative 15, and negative 20 is negative 35. It doesn't matter which direction you send your x, but in this case, it would actually be simpler to subtract your 15x to the other side because this x was already alone. Leaving me negative 35 equals negative 3x. Break away the negative 3 by dividing, giving me x equals 35 thirds, which will not reduce, but my negatives cancel out. Whew, it's a process, but it's the same process every time. Try this last one. Pause. Try it. It's just like the one we completed. Looking at our common denominator, 2, 4. Looking at my least common multiples, my common denominator here would be 4. So I'm going to take this entire thing and multiply it times 4. When I do that, I have the pluses, the equals that separate out my multiplications. So what that means is 4 times 3x, 12x, plus 4 times 5. And that entire thing had a fraction. Equals 4 times 4, 16, plus 4 times 4x is 16x. 4 times 2 is 8. And this entire thing had a fraction. Once I've multiplied, now I can come back and break them up. 12 divided by 2 is 6x. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 16 plus 16 divided by 4 is 4x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I have 6x plus 10 equals 4x plus 18. When I go to solve, I can subtract 4x to join its friend, leaving me 2x plus 10 equals 18. I'm going to move over here so that I have more space. Subtract 10 to the other side, leaving me 2x equals 8. And the last step is to divide out that 2 so that x is alone. Whew, y'all, this was a process, but it's one that we can follow every time. Practice these, join tutoring, reach out for help and support. In our next lesson, we're going to combine algebra with some word problems, including our percentages.